Good.
This is Underground Noise Podcast. I'm Alex, the man behind Underground Noise. I'm here with Jeff Beauchamp. He used to play in the band called Konkeror. For those of you who might know, it's spelled Konkeror.
That's right.
Spelling it.
All right. Yeah. Well, there's already a band called Konkeror, so we like the name so much that we just had to spell it wrong.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Right.
So tell us what happened with Konkeror. I noticed that you guys released the Abysmal Horizons, and you told me over a private message that you guys had broken up.
Yeah. We just well we I think it was like I want to say 2012, 2013. We recorded it and released it ourselves and everything, and did some shows and stuff, and then I think by like 2015 we were pretty much done because I moved to South Carolina in 2017. But I think our last show, our last show might have been like 2014 maybe. I can't remember. It's kind of all fuzzy right now. But yeah, we had a repress or a re-release in Europe, I think, with Lacerated Enemy Records, and I think they're based out of Czech Republic. I think I forgot where they're based out of, but we did a whole new artwork and stuff for it, and they did some T-shirts and stuff. I think they still have it all up, but and then after that, we did like a Bolt Thrower cover, a Cenotaph, and then that was for the re-release, and then pretty much after that, I mean, we were working on a new one, but it just never really panned out,
Right.
So kind of the way it happens sometimes,
Well, who are your influences musically?
I mean, I listen to all types of music. It just depends on my mood. I would say for metal and for Konkeror especially, because I've always done vocals and everything. Konkeror was the first band I played bass in. I'm not really a bassist too much. I mean, I can play some root notes and stuff, and I can do some stuff, but I was never really a bassist. I kind of just filled that space. But vocally, I for Konkeror, I was really influenced by David Vincent from Morbid Angel. It was kind of what I was going for. And Paul Speckman from Master. He was another one too. I loved the way that those guys had such a low voice. You know what I mean? It was like almost like a giant.
Yeah.
And they could just belt it out, but they enunciated everything. You know what I mean? Like you can listen to David Vincent and you can hear what he's saying. You know what I mean? And that's what I always liked about it is when I did Konkeror, and I went for more of the low register because all my past bands I did highs, more like black metal, more like enslaved kind of highs, and you can hear it on the Konkeror record. But for this band, I wanted to strictly do just lows. You know what I mean, with some highs and thrown in. So yeah, David Vincent for sure. He's probably my biggest influence for vocals. I just love the way he sounds, and you can hear what he's saying, and not saying, Cannibal Corpse or anything, bands like that have more of a burpy kind of sound, it sounds good, but you can't hear what they're saying. And I wanted people to at least hear what I'm saying. Cause I took time writing the lyrics and stuff too. And, I kind of wanted that to show through as well,
That's really cool.
And it's funny too, because I met Paul Speckman of Master, and this is a funny story about me and Toby, the drummer, Konkeror. We saw Master in Detroit. I want to say like 2012, 2013. I gave him our CD. I was like, man, you're one of the biggest influences on me, man. I love your vocals and stuff. On the Seventh Day is one of the best death metal albums to me. And he was like, oh, cool, man. And he like took a picture with me. Like a few months later, the band that was like touring with them, they were just more of kind of a national act. I think they were kind of a smaller group. I don't really remember who they were, but they sent us a message and was like, hey, Paul gave me the CD. So I was like, thanks, man. But it is what it is. It was pretty cool though, meeting them. I wish I could find the picture of it, but
I'm sure it's floating around somewhere.
Maybe. But
is there anything that you do outside of the music?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, music is still really important to me. I still play it. Not as much because I have 3 kids. So I got a 1-year-old right now. So this past year with the pandemic has kind of derailed a lot of the creative stuff for me right now. But I do a lot of like electronic music and stuff. Another really big influence to me is a German band, Tangerine Dream. One of the earliest electronic bands, and I love them. I mean, I have the majority of their albums. And I still make music like that. I have all my keyboards next to me and stuff like that, and I do stuff on the computer. So that's kind of what I do. I do that on the side still. Um, you can hear some of my stuff on the Konkeror album, like the little interludes in between the songs. The electronics. I made all those. So I still do music and stuff. I mean, you can see behind me movies. I collect movies and music and stuff. So those are mostly horror and exploitation and grindhouse kind of movies like that. That's one of my hobbies as well. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I've been down in South Carolina for about 4 years now, so it was a kind of a little bit of a change of pace from Michigan. So we kind of found some different things. Like I found out that I like going to the beach. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
things that you don't really know in Michigan because we were by Detroit, so it's not you don't get the beachy areas unless you're by the Detroit River, which you don't want to swim in. But yeah, so there's been some changes, but that's kind of my hobbies, doing stuff like that, So
When you were in the band Conquer, what type of gear did you use, like for like your instrument and your
so
amps?
so I think okay, so it's kind of funny because when I was originally trying out for the band, I knew Jake, the guitarist, the lead guitarist, and I talked with him and Toby. They were in a band called Iliad, and I was in a band called the Vala before that, and we kind of exchanged music through MySpace and stuff when it was big. So when I originally signed up, Jake had heard my stuff before, and he sent me a message, and he said, "Hey, why don't you come over and try out? We'd like to hear what you sound like with us." So when I went over there, I just did vocals. That's all I did, and they were like, "Hey, we like your stuff. We want you in." Or I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was ready to get back into music and stuff, And they were like, "Well, we got to find a bass player and stuff." And I was like, I can probably do bass if you want me to. So I signed up to do bass, and I think I was using like their friend's bass for a while. It was like an Epitaph or something. I can't even remember what one it was, but I was using that one for a little while. But then I got my own gear. I have a behind me the bass that I used live. It's an Axel Badwater, and it's a smaller company, but it was something that I kind of just wanted to try out. I never really upgraded after that because we just did the one album, and I think I was playing mostly out of the amp wasn't even mine that I played out of live. I think it was the bassist that they were trying out before. He just like left it there, so that's the one I use. Or I would use like the gear, live. I always said, if we did a second album, that would have been something I would have actually probably gotten into a little more. But it was kind of one of those things. It was like first vocalist, and then I kind of fell into playing bass just because it was, there was a need for it. So, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I still have the bass that I use though behind me, so I still play it every now and then.
Are there any places in the world that you'd like to tour someday?
Well, I'd always wanted to go to, I mean, Europe and play. I mean, it would be sweet to go to Brazil. They got such a heavy, big heavy metal scene down there, and overseas as well. Yeah, I mean, anywhere really. I don't really care. I mean, I would have played anywhere. I mean, we just played in Michigan. We never actually we had some offers to play like out of state, you know what I mean? But we never really did. So, but I mean, I would be open to play anywhere. One thing was funny about us is we never were really interested in like touring though. You know what I mean? I think like the prospect of touring always kind of like made us a little nervous, because we were already in our 30s at that point, and I had a baby and stuff at home. It was my first daughter that was born, and so I think we were a little nervous about what that would look like. You know what I mean? Because you see a lot of younger bands, they can do that. They, they're not as settled down, and I think the prospect of it, but like we would have played anywhere. I mean, I think our one goal that we always wanted to do was we always wanted to play one of the death fests, like a Maryland Death Fest. We had some friends in bands around Detroit that played and stuff. So I think that was like one of our places that we really wanted to play, somewhere around there, but anywhere really. I mean, it would have been cool.
Yeah, when I was reviewing the Abysmal Horizons, you had sent me a copy. Excuse me. You sent me the pink copy, the original.
The original one, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard the re-release, only on YouTube.
Yeah. The re-release, I think it's still available. It was like I said, Lacerated Enemy Records, they did it. And we never really, I mean, like after we released that, like we had plans, we were gonna do another album. We had about 4 songs written. And I really wanted to get into the studio and just record them. You know what I mean? I wanted to, even if it was just an EP, you know what I mean? But we just never got around to doing it. We had some dialogue, some interest from Metal Blade Records. They emailed us and they said, hey, not saying we're going to sign you, they didn't say like, we want to sign you or anything like that, but they were saying, hey, we're interested in your music and, we want to see, what do you plan to do for your second album? And, we already had like 4 songs. So it's, that was kind of cool, it kind of gave us some validation. We got noticed and I was like, hell yeah, but yeah, it was cool to get that re-release because we got the same artist that did the original album cover for us, Mark Cooper, he had the re-release cover. He posted it and we were like, dude, that's it right there. It reminded us of like, something Entombed or Dismember would have released in the 90s or the Benediction or something, so had that classic kind of look to it. So yeah, we loved it, but it's pretty cool though. It's a digipack. So if you ever get it, yeah, I only have 1 copy of it. That's it. I think we sold a few at shows. Our commission or whatever we got from it was like, how it usually works when you're a small band, it's like you enter into an agreement and they give you like a certain number of copies that you can sell yourself. And then they sell the rest. So it's kind of like just exposure, so
that's cool.
But yeah, the Bolt Thrower cover is cool though. You got to check that out if you haven't. So that was a lot of fun to do.
I think it might have heard it on YouTube because I noticed that the re-release cover, it's blue instead of pink.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we were going for, like I said, the first album cover we really liked a lot because it was kind of psychedelic. It kind of gave me some cathedral, kind of vibes to it, like Carnival Bazaar. And that's, I think, why we liked it. It's because, our music and lyrics and the stuff we talked about was philosophical, it was, very surreal. The music video that we did for Creator Destroyer, we tried to make it really trippy and, have all like the LSD kind of colors and stuff. So it really kind of fit the vibe. And then when we saw the second album that for the re-release, though, we were like, oh, we got to go with something like that. We actually were in contact with Dan Seagrave, who did the original, but he was like backed up, like I think like a year and a half. He said he wouldn't have been able to get started on it for like another year. So we were like, oh, we don't have time. But that would have been super cool. I mean, I know the guitarist Jake, he was like really pushing for that. We were ready just to throw down all the money to have Dan Seagrave make us a cover. That would have been awesome. But yeah, we like the cover though that they have. So
another great artist is Tony Cole.
Yeah, I don't who now. What has he done? I'm not familiar with.
He did artwork for Internal Suffering, Blasphemous Creation.
Okay.
Trying to think of other bands that he's helped out. There's been quite a few of them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of death metal artwork.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of good artists too, especially, and we like the Mark Cooper had some good stuff too, and he was always really cool working with us, and so we kind of had that relationship. So when we were looking for that second cover, we just went right to him, and found it right away. So it was like almost like he made it for us,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any songs that you have written with Konkeror that you find to be the most difficult to play or your favorite?
The most difficult to play? Let's see. So the big challenge with playing that stuff was singing at the same time with it. You know what I mean? I would say, good question. Creator Destroyer could have been a little hard to do because it was, the beginning part was, Toby was hitting the snare, and it was, the riff was like dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 dun. So that was pretty challenging trying to do the rhythm and do the vocals over it. But other than that, none of them were really too difficult to play. I would say my favorite tracks that we did together. I like Towers a lot. The second song off the album. It had a very kind of a Morbid Angel, Gojira vibe to it. And then I always liked In the Cosmos Flow Eternal, the last song on the album, because that reminded us a lot of, we were going for like Vader, kind of like early Vader kind of sound.
Kind of like Dark Age.
Yeah, for sure. And we were just going for heavy, and Toby was just blasting the entire time. And I love the riff on it too. It's a pummeling riff that Jake plays. But I always like that one a lot. I mean, there's really not any song on the album that I don't really. I like the Pillars of Creation. That one wasn't too bad, but that one was a little slower. So we never really played that one live because that one's like 8 minutes long, and we were going for more like a Death Doom kind of vibe. But yeah, I mean, I like most of them. I mean, we usually played the same 5 songs when we played live. You know what I mean? We kind of play the same set list. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it was good practice, and that's what we'd always do, is we just practice the same stuff. So we throw in a new one, on there every now and then. I know we started throwing And the Cosmos Flow Eternal on the set list like toward the end. But we only played it like once or twice live. It was mostly just like I'm Monolithic and Towers, and Beyond the Abysmal Horizons. We usually do Creator Destroyer, those tracks right there.
That's cool. Well, I can't think of anything else. Do you have any last words for me, Jeff?
I don't, man. Thanks for the support still. And, it's always nice hearing when people still listen to us and bring us up still. So, it's definitely something we're proud of. I know that. So,
well, yeah. I hope you guys can get back together and start making more music.
Yeah, maybe one of these days. We'll see. I'm about 900 miles away from them. So, but who knows with the digital age we're in right now,
Yeah, I'm still working with a click track, and I'm using my guitar and I'm writing my own lyrics, but no bassist, no drummer.
Right. Oh yeah, man. It's tough, especially when you're not in, Detroit, I'll say, had a really good scene. I don't know how it is now, because I haven't been up there for 4 years, but just having those contacts, we always knew people that could fill in for stuff. So yeah, that's the hardest part, is finding everyone, the right people. So, but good luck to you on that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
All right, dude. Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks so very much.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
You're welcome.